Hi, I'm Tom.
I'm Matty.
And I'm Lewis.
This is the Wigan Way, Wigan's favourite rugby league podcast.
He'll put you in his trap 'cause he's a union man. He's got it all figured out. He won't care what you think 'cause he's a northern man. He's allowed to speak his mind. His mind.
The Wigan Way podcast is brought to you by Cherry and White Pins, a local Wigan Warriors themed pin badge company with a variety of Wigan ranges. You can get free shipping on all orders when you use the code THEWIGANWAY, that's The Wigan Way, all in capitals, at checkout. Thanks to them for supporting the show.
So, we are now back with the Wigan Way. It was round 16. Wigan managed to get the win over the Leigh Leopards, 24 points to 6, but we'll dive into that really quickly, lads. How's this week? 4 points clear, top of the table. How's that made your week, guys?
Excellent. Really, really good. And we've still not lost a Battle of the Borough.
Is it really a battle of the borough when you've lost 5 out of 5?
5-0. Warriors over Leopards. They've not beaten us since the name change. Long may that continue.
Yeah. It's going to be, well, to be fair, by the end of this season, the regular season,
No, because they've got another
it's going to be
chance.
6, isn't it?
They get another chance.
On
Because we're
Tuesday.
playing 3 times again this year.
You know what I mean? That's could be 6-0.
Could be.
Lewis, how's your week been?
Yeah, all good, mate, all good. Obviously, nice back doing this. We had a week off last week, whilst it was the England game. We didn't really see. We probably might touch on England a bit later on in the episode. We didn't really think of dedicating a full podcast to it, so we had a week off, but now we're back, and obviously, after the win, always nice to record after a victory.
Yeah.
Well, before we dive into this, we should probably mention how the league looks now. That puts us 4 points clear at the top. Game in hand. Play St Helens next week gives it the potential to go to 6.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good position to be in. Bear in mind.
Well, you say that, but there's 4 teams on 22, isn't there? So,
yeah.
really, it's not like we're trying to get away from Saints. We're just trying to get away.
It's one of them. Yeah. I only picked Saints as being our biggest rivals in the team we were playing. But there's a lot of importance on that. They're winning, it could be within 2. But again, so we've only lost 2 league games, win the Challenge Cup and the World Cup challenges.
Well, Bill Cole tweeted it, I thought it was brilliant, where he said, if you told me we'd won the World Club Challenge and the Cup, and we were 4 points behind someone with the game in hand, I'd be over the moon.
Yeah.
To say we're actually 4 points in front of everyone with a game in hand, it almost beggars belief. I mean, I put things on that next page there, like, we've lost 2 games since this time last year. Since last July, we've lost 2 games.
Yeah. So you were just pointing out 2 losses since July 24th, 2023. The last home defeat was the 12th of May 2023 against Leeds.
Yep. That was a red card as well.
Yeah. It's a phenomenal position to be in, and one that I don't think anyone at the club would have expected. I think there was an ambition at the start of the year to do something special and win the World Cup Challenge and compete in all 4 fronts. But to be in this position at this point in the season, it is unbelievable. And with the way that the league fixtures play, we still haven't played Leeds, we still haven't played Hull FC. It's a really, really strong position to be in.
Such a strong culture as well. There's every excuse there, isn't there, for falling off a little bit and letting your standards drop. Thinking actually we've had some success. We've won World Club Challenge, which Ben for mid favourites for. We've had some success. We've won Challenge Cup. It would have been so easy to have a couple of losses and everyone just say, yeah, but we did. But actually to keep going and keep turning up the week after and wanting to win, and the week after and wanting like that.
Yeah.
It would have been so easy to slip up against Huddersfield the week after World Cup Challenge.
Yeah, 100%.
It would have been so easy to slip up against Castleford the week after Challenge Cup. And for the Castleford game, it was really close. Just doing enough to win. It is that winning culture, and that the next game's the only one that matters. is the feeling that I get.
Yeah.
Don't matter what you've already achieved. Yeah, celebrate winning the World Cup Challenge, celebrate all that stuff, but you've got to win next week. And that's something that I love to see.
Yes, absolutely.
Should we dive into this game then?
Well, first of all, the Brick
Yeah.
Community Stadium, we forgot to mention it after the London game. We've been waiting for months to play a game at the Brick Community Stadium. Last time we played there before London, it was the DW. What do we think? We've not actually spoken about the name change yet because it's been a long time, but this feels like the first time we're properly talking about a big game at that ground.
I like it. I think it's a very good cause. And you know what? I have no issue with it being called that. I like what it is.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. It's nice. It's the Brick is a charity that is located in Wigan, so it's keeping that local theme to it. I can't see why you wouldn't.
If
You'd have a problem with it.
If you do it short term, if you're trying to secure a big money sponsor to sponsor it, that'll take time. If the bid isn't right, don't accept it because you lower your standards then. So I fully agree. Give it away for a year.
And see where we're at.
Partner up with the Brick, and if you can afford to do that, why not?
Yeah. Good attendance, I thought. 16,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, decent attendance. I mean, it's a local
local
game, so
There was a good thing they was doing for this as well, which I don't know if you guys have done, because they were giving out, I believe there was a pool of 1,000 tickets, and they were eligible for people to claim for free through the local school and colleges in the borough. So they was able to like we got told in the staff meeting, obviously everybody knows we work in education, because mine is in Wigan. We got told that essentially you could click a link and follow through and you could apply for up to 4 tickets for free, to take people. So I think, obviously with it being Wigan and Leigh, and it gives...
that's
more,
good.
do you know what I mean? It's
More
a good
people
thing
in the
that
ground.
you get people into it and give them the opportunity to go and watch 2 local teams.
Well, if they watch some of the tries from this game, it's going to be hard not to be hooked for life on rugby league. There's some brilliant game.
I love Matty, you put the tweet out, but if you're doing a highlights video this year, just put the tries from this game
Yeah, just
on.
put the 4 tries from this game. It's like a try of the season competition this game on Friday.
Definitely.
I thought it was a bit of a throwback. This game. There was some solid defence. Aside from the video ref coming in and giving yellow cards, which he never used to do, it was a bit of a throwback game. There was some tough defence. I liked a couple of the players. I liked Trout. I liked that lad with the ponytail, that new player. Penne is his name, yeah. I thought he was good. He got a bit tired towards the end, but I thought he was good. I thought they chanced around. They tried to play good rugby. We did as well. We obviously scored 4 incredible tries. There was a try save, 2 try savers, I suppose you could say, from French. It wasn't robotic.
No.
Sometimes a game can sort of settle into a pattern and be a bit robotic and a little bit dull.
Predictable.
A little bit predictable. This one, it was a bit like, because both teams were fired up and both teams like to play attractive rugby. It just felt like it was a style, matchup that really worked. They say styles make matchups, don't they, in like combat sports, and it felt like these 2 styles coming together made for a really good game. I really enjoyed it.
Definitely.
One of the most enjoyable games. I thought they were really, really good. Leigh. But I say they only got 6 points, which is probably down to their execution when they got into close to the line, but I thought they were really, really good. They gave it a really good go.
Really physical game, I thought. I thought both teams, it was really, they built up this battle of the borough. And I feel like it did feel like that, this one. It was one where I was watching, I was going, this is getting tasty, this. And they were proper laying into each other. And I was like, this is a good old fashioned, derby rivalry, whatever you want to call it.
But it didn't feel like first against ninth.
No, not at all.
Not because we were playing poorly, because I thought we played really well.
Yeah.
But because they sort of raised their game quite a lot. And we've said for a while that ninth doesn't really feel like the correct position for Leigh. But they're still ninth. We said that for months and they're still ninth. So something's obviously not working for them, but they clearly showed this game. If they play like that every week, they'll not be ninth.
No.
Come the end of the season. No chance.
That's the thing for Leigh. They've got to play like that every week.
Yeah.
That's a top 6 performance.
Well, they're playing.
I think I can't remember if I saw it on Twitter, but someone said, "Is that one of the best performances from Leigh in Super League?"
Yeah.
And they've come away losing 24 points to 6, but they were really in this game, and a couple of things could go the other way. Bounce of a ball.
They just didn't have that magic moment that we had.
No.
And we had 4 magic moments, really.
Yeah. Should we go into the tries and start talking about this game? It was 24-6, 8-0 at half time. It was 2 tries for Bevan French, 1 for Liam Marshall and 1 for Liam Farrell. 3 try assists from Jake Wardle. Kieran kicking 4 from 5 for Leigh. Brad Dwyer got a try in the 54th minute. That put the game really back in the egg. So I think it took it back to 8-6. It became really close.
8-6.
Matt Moylan converted that. Both teams had a man sin binned.
Yeah.
Robbie Mulhern in the 20th minute and Brad O'Neill in the 38th minute. Brad O'Neill's got a 1-game ban. Just mention this while we talk about it. I thought that was a brilliant tackle.
Nothing wrong with it.
I could say, on the replay, it looks like he might go past the horizontal. But it's not.
He's put him on his back.
It's not a ban, is it? He's dumped him on his back.
I think Pape did one to Thompson at first half, who did exactly the same.
Pape was hunting.
Bent his back, picked him up and threw him on his back, and all them Leigh fans were giving it the Pape chant. And I said to you at the time, so I'm going to sit next to us, when to be fair, that was a very good hit, that. O'Neill does it, and then he gets sent for 10 minutes.
And the thing with it for me is Mulhern's smiling. Like he says, like he looks up and goes, first shot, like that's for a tackle. No one really complained. And then he doesn't get up, he's a little...
Lachlan landed.
He
ran straight up to the referee doing his best Jake Conway impression.
Well, Lachlan Lamb did quite a bit of that this game, didn't he?
Yeah,
He was trying to referee the game for Aaron Moore.
Not only did he try and referee the game, he tried to linesman the game, telling the linesman where the ball had gone out at every kick.
Yes.
And pointing at the ground. I'm just sick of it. Look, I would love if Super League said, if you tell me what the decision is, I'm going to sin bin you. I'd happily accept that. If you come over and say it should be a penalty, yeah, you might have your penalty, but I'm not sin bin you.
I would, personally. Is Lachlan the captain? I don't know, but if he's not, I'd have called him over, the captain, and just said...
Oh yeah, he was, sorry, yeah.
Was he the captain?
When it got a bit spicy, he brought him and Farrell in.
Because Asiata was on bench.
And just say, look, you keep doing that. You like to talk to me as the captain. You can't come and just get in the face at every decision. Like, if you do that again, you go in for 10. I didn't have somebody else that come to speak to me.
I didn't like it. Should we go into the tries?
Yeah.
Bevan French opened the scoring in the 21st minute.
Yeah.
Just 1 minute after Leigh went down to 12, and we'll talk about the 12 men situation at the end of this section. But was killer. Was instinct.
If we see that yellow card get raised at one of our opposition players this year, we are immediately hunting. Immediately. And I know we only scored 1 try.
Yeah.
But we scored 8 points, didn't we? But we were immediately hunting as many points as possible while that player's off.
What a try. Jake Wardle, one of his 3 try assists. Really great play from around, probably, was it the halfway line?
Maybe just even before.
Might have just been before. Great passes. They use French as a little bit of a decoy early on. He's out the back of Smith. Smith just misses him out and hits Farrell. And I know Zach Hardacre has just signed a 2-year contract at All FC, but he will be having nightmares about Jake Wardle this week.
Yes.
He just so good. And we talk about his big left foot step and beating players on the inside.
I mean, it got to the point where I was feeling sorry for him this game, which says a lot, because everything he was trying just didn't come off. And Wardle went past him a couple of times. This one was just brilliant. I mean, it's good support play from French.
Yeah.
Every good half-back would have been in that situation, backing up through the middle. But Wardle, it's just absolute magic. You know that left foot step's coming, although we'll talk about the 4th try in a bit. I'll say you know the left foot step's coming. You can't defend against it because you don't know when it's going to come. Because we've said before, he doesn't wind it up. He just plants it and goes bang straight through.
And the thing for me is he's so strong with it. If you've just got a flailing arm, he's breaking that tackle.
He's quick, he's strong, he's smart, he's got good hands, good step. I mean, we'll talk about Ian Watson as well later. If there's ever a sackable offence, it's letting Jake Wardle leave half free.
But what I love about this is he just draws Moylan in enough. He's having Hardacre on his back. He's got, I can't remember who the guy coming across is, but he just holds it off enough just to get Moylan interested so that he can't line French up. And Moylan just has to come towards him and he draws him and drops him off. And it makes it, was it 8-0 with the kick from Kieran? It's just, everything about it was perfect.
I don't think he gets credit for how quick he is.
No?
I think probably because he's got Marshall outside of him, who's known as obviously the fast one, but actually, how many times have we seen him burn people on the outside or inside and they've not been able to catch him? Once he's got that half a yard and he's through that, like you say, loose arm, whenever they try and run back and get him, he's gone, they can't catch him, he is quick.
Bar a couple of instances, and I'm thinking about Hull KR last year at the start of the season, where he really got in open space. Do you think we've seen him put the foot down? Because I feel like he gets going and then he just like eases off, draws his man and puts.
He's scored quite a few tries directly from a scrum, where he's got to top speed and then he's in.
Yeah. He's just powered over.
I don't know how many times he's actually run the length of the field, because there was that great try French scored against Warrington.
Yeah.
You know that one we always talk about where everyone made the right decision. Smithies was involved and Farrell was involved. That one, he put his foot down.
Just to get on the outside.
To get on the outside. Was it Ratchford? I can't remember who it was, but I mean, he's headed, unless he gets injured, which I hope he doesn't, he's headed for the dream team again. 10 tries and 14 try assists already in 19 games.
It's class.
I mean, if he ends up with 20 of each, he probably won't, but he'll end up with 15 of each.
Yeah.
That's an incredible season.
Yeah. Serious season. Let's move on to the next. That takes it into half time. Both teams had a yellow card. Mulhern and O'Neill, we've mentioned that. Second half, we're going to still down to 12 men for the first 8 minutes. Hold out, the game stays at 8-0. And Brad Dwyer manages to score 6 minutes after O'Neill had come back on the field.
Yeah.
Clever play. Asiata near the line. A little bit disappointed with this. Four men there.
I was disappointed with this, but as I've said before, I'm disappointed we conceded this try, but it was their only try. And if you're only conceding one try, you're going to win most games.
Yeah.
So I can see, okay, we shouldn't have conceded that try, but it was their only try. It was our only mistake in 80 minutes. I think there was a hint of obstruction, perhaps, that they didn't really check with Asiata in the line. Did he hold Farrell back? Can't really see on the highlights.
No, I'm okay with it.
We should have got more bodies around him to stop him getting the ball down.
That's the thing for me. There was enough men there to still stop it. Even if he does, there's enough men there, in my opinion, to deal with that.
Yeah.
And we probably should. Maybe a lapse in concentration. But I'm okay with it. I'm not.
Some unsavoury scenes after this try was scored. A lot of things thrown at the Wigan players behind the sticks. Obviously, we called it out when it was Good Friday last year, when our fans did it to, was it Lewis Dodd?
I think so.
A few of their players maybe. So got to call it out again. Leigh supporters throwing things at our players was clearly wrong.
And my issue with throwing things is obviously the risk of injury. But everyone talks about how good rugby league is because you can actually have a pint in the stand. It's not like Premier League football where you're not allowed a bottle and you're not allowed a plastic cup to have your pint in, and you can't drink on the terraces. And
I've said to a few people recently, I actually think that is what leads to a lot of the problems with football, because supporters aren't allowed to drink at the match. They can't pace themselves, so they try and get it all done before the game, and then obviously that leads to a lot of problems. So that's why I think we don't see quite as much trouble.
But all I mean is it will lead to a ban.
Oh,
They'll continue to keep throwing things.
Pint pots get thrown then, don't they?
Yeah. They'll doing it for themselves, and then they'll start complaining, how come we can't drink? How come, we can buy a drink, but you won't let us take it up? And it's like, yeah, but you've ruined it for yourselves by throwing stuff. Don't throw stuff at real. Doesn't have to change, does it? It's not hard.
It's not cheap. Like the beer you buy isn't cheap.
Just drink it. It's a waste of beer.
It is a waste of
beer.
Yeah.
I love beer. Don't throw it at Wigan players, give it to me. I'll drink it.
Just get 1/20th of everybody's pint.
Yeah. All in one glass like a shoey.
Yeah, it's a good challenge, that.
But I want to mention Wigan's response to this. And again, Matty, you put a good tweet out. Wigan, was it Wigan or Super League? Put a tweet out of Bevan French's highlights from the game.
Yes.
And there were a lot. But there was one particular carry. I think it was straight after the set. Obviously, Wigan kicked off to Leigh. We pinned them into maybe the 30 or 40. Really good defensive set. And they put a kick long. French catches on the full. And he just hits this at pace. There was no looking to drop someone off and take a settler or anything like that. And there's just been... I still don't think we've seen an 80-minute performance from Bevan where he's had his hands all over everything.
This was pretty close.
But I think he's just switched big 15, 20 minutes.
This was really, really close to an 80-minute performance. Moments like that, you need your big players to step up. I said it at Wembley. Jay Field, try saver, and try assist. Bevan French, try. Moments like this, when you've just gone 8, you're winning 8-6 still, but they've got the momentum. You need your big players, you need your marquee signings to just turn it on. And if your marquee signings are better than theirs and they turn it on, you'll be alright. And I think instead of being deflated by conceding the try to Dwyer, it just angered us. That set after points from them was pretty poor, but because we made it poor, we smashed into them every single time, give them nothing, made them kick on the back foot. French catches it, and like you said, just turns on the accelerator immediately. They have to foul him. They have to give a penalty away for holding down because he's just too quick. All of a sudden, we're on the front foot. And I think that's what leads to the Marshall try. Because if you think after Dwyer scored, within about 5 minutes...
It was 3 minutes.
We scored back-to-back. Yeah. You know, we went... And how many times have we said this year on this podcast, we went back-to-back? And
points after points.
Points and points and points. And this was like, for me, this moment, the try saver on Edwin Apape was incredible.
Yeah.
The second try we'll talk about later was incredible. Support play. And the one-handed pick-up. Might dedicate some time to that as well. But this moment where he just catches the ball and takes it in, it's the simplest thing you could even describe. But the way he does it, flipped the switch and changed all the momentum to us. And I reckon it won us this game.
That's it.
That moment won us that game.
I remember Sam used to do this at the back, where games were just drifting and whatever, and we needed something, and he just hits a ball at pace and just get everyone going, and then suddenly you've got Miskey and Marshall. They were both sat there ready, like brewing up to take a carry.
And I want to say Kieran's carries were incredible this game.
Kieran's carries were really good. Jake Waddle, classy as ever.
Yeah,
but you're in that defensive line and you've not got a dominant tackling, and you're still trying to get set, and you're blowing. Leigh were blowing. There was multiple times that defenders attackers for Leigh weren't getting back on side because they just couldn't. And you can see French trying to get up. And you have to give that penalty away. We kick 30 metres downfield and set ourselves up for the Liam Marshall try. Brilliant work. Shall we go on to it?
Yeah,
Good hands.
Good hands from Waddle.
Jake Waddle gets on the outside of his man. Can we just quote that? Jake Waddle gets on the outside of his man.
We need a stamp that just says Jake Waddle gets on the outside of his man, and then we just keep... like a sound bar.
Just insert it.
Just insert the clip.
But a bit of a flick pass out to Marshall. Where does this rank in best finishes that you've seen? I think this is up there with... It's definitely in my top 3. I might even say it's the best finish.
It's the best finish I've seen at the Brick Community Stadium. Or the DW Stadium.
I know what you're going to say.
Or the JJB Stadium. We're going to talk about David Nofaluma.
Yeah.
I've lined it up already. Round 2013, NRL, I was at Campbelltown. And David Nofaluma against Manly scored the try that started this all off. So from a kick.
Oh, wow.
It's the try that starts it all off. He kicks it in the air. His whole body is horizontal above another player. And he somehow gets it down. And you look at the lead. If you just type in David Nofaluma try, you'll see it because it's what he's most famous for. I'm not sure I'll ever see a try, or a finish, better than that.
No.
But at Wigan, I've got to say that's probably the best I've seen. Marshall had a good one, didn't he, against St Helens in his debut season? I'm talking like 7 years ago now. But I think this was better. I think this was the best try I've seen, best finish at least I've seen at Wigan.
Yeah.
I think the thing for me is we always see the Johnstons, the Makinsons, where they're at pace and they're diving into the corner. But Marshall has no pace to work with here.
He's got no room.
He's got
just
no
got to
room to
literally
work with.
jump and try and keep his heels in the air whilst playing the ball down.
Yeah.
He's got no space whatsoever to try and manoeuvre his body. He's just got to literally jump and go for it.
He effectively goes over Hanley. Just remember that.
Yeah.
He basically jumps over him, no pace. And I don't want to say the Johnston ones and the Makinson ones and the diving in at the corner are easy, but when you've got that pace to work with, you can sort of go from distance and try and get in. But Marshall can't do that. He has to go over a mile of Hanley and then lift his body up to get his... and keep hold of the ball. Just pointing that out that he kept hold of that one-handed.
Kept his feet in before that, before he jumped. Made sure the ball didn't go down on the line. This is an outrageous finish.
Brilliant.
I'm disappointed the highlights on YouTube just show it at full speed and never show it again, when usually they show 18 different repeats of the same video ref decision.
It made me laugh because I was in shock, and I think that was a lot of the people's reaction. That everyone at the ground just knew it was a try.
Marshall was confident.
I was in shock watching it. Like, have I just seen that?
It's not been like Matty just said then about the YouTube art. It's not been marketed enough. That happens in the NRL. It's all over.
Well, Xavier Coates.
Everyone
Coates,
sees it. And it's like, we've just had it. And, you talk about other tries, we're going to talk about it in this game as well. We've had some fantastic... This game was fantastic. I just don't feel like it's been marketed and branded and put out there in the public eye.
No, I was talking to a lad at school today. He's a rugby league player. He was at the Saints game against Castleford and he was saying, it's a bit boring, but not really a great game. And I said, well, have you seen the tries from Wigan and Leigh? He said, yeah, I've seen the highlights. I went, yeah, well, have you watched them like in slow motion? Have you seen the video ref decisions? He said, no. I said, that try Liam Marshall scored was a brilliant finish. And he said immediately, was it like the Xavier Coates one? Now that's because Xavier Coates' try was plastered everywhere.
Yeah,
everyone saw it. It was marketed well. The Liam Marshall one, it won't be.
That's Super League kicking itself in.
Yeah, of course it is.
3 minutes later, the next set, Devon French.
Yeah.
Again, from just around the halfway line. Might have just been short again. Bit of a left foot step. Pokes himself through a gap.
This was an Ellis offload.
Yeah, an Ellis offload to Mago. Mago to, I think it was to Smith. And then Smith to French.
Yeah. I like offloads when it's not a player you often see throw an offload. Yeah. When it's Mago throwing an offload, or Nsemba, or last year Kai Pearce-Paul, or Bateman, he was good at the money. When it's somebody like that, you expect it. But sometimes when it's a Cade Ellis, or when it's an Ethan Havard, it's more effective. Because you're not expecting it. Mago does what he should do, get the ball out to somebody else. And then
just get the ball away from the rope.
French sees Jack Hughes, and Jack Hughes is defending the base of about 4 or 5 blokes. He's no chance. And Moylan's no chance either. You've got Bevan French just sprinting at you at pace. What can you do apart from defend it like a normal fullback? And he puts the kick in, and it's just a formality. And I was actually thinking he might kick it for Marshall. Yeah. But he didn't need to. Just kick it for yourself. Again, it's our best players taking control of the game and just giving us the win. That's why you pay him £500,000 a year, or whatever you're paying him. That's why you pay him that much.
How? This should be he should be the poster boy of Super League. A guy that it is reported that NRL teams always want him, and how good he would be and what he could do. Staying over here as your marquee player, he does things that I've never seen some people do on a rugby pitch. Advertise the hell out of him.
Well, he did a try saver on Ipape. he had a try saver on Hardacre.
Yep.
Lamb gets through and does the exact same, kicks ahead for himself. And I was thinking, knock it dead, fall on it. There's not a fullback on the planet,
Just
certainly
booted
it is.
into Rose.
Certainly in this country. No, because Hardacre tried the boot it into Rosehead when he was playing for us, and he just fresh air cleared it, and Cass scored right at the end, even though we were winning by a mile.
Yeah.
He was dead disappointed, but just fall on it, scoop it, do whatever you want, kick it dead. The one-handed pickup, first of all, is outrageous. Then he makes 3 players miss, and then just decides to lie on the floor because he doesn't want to run the full 80 metres.
Mm-hmm.
He's an absolute freak of nature.
He is.
But do you think when Lamb puts that kick in, it was Lamb that put the kick in, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He's going, I can replicate what Bevan
No.
did. No, he's not thinking that, but
No, he's thinking...
similar setup.
He's thinking drop out.
Yeah.
He's thinking I'll get a drop out here.
Mm.
And if he messes it up, I might score, but he'll probably drop out. He's not thinking... not even 1% of his brain is thinking, what if he scoops this up with one hand, runs around the post, sidesteps me,
Beats Liam Marshall as well.
yeah, sidesteps somebody else and gets through to the 30-yard line, and we're on an attack again.
And we actually end up scoring from this set. Like, from what should have been a goal line dropout. I have run out of words to describe Bevan French. Should we go through this last try, Liam Farrell?
Yeah.
It feels a bit weird again that Liam Farrell doesn't get his accustomed try.
From backing up through the middle.
Yeah.
This was just... I saw Jake Wardle one-on-one, and I thought, he's going to left foot step him. He's going to left foot step him. Going to left foot step him. And then out comes the right foot step.
It's that.
It's frightening. This move that gets him free here is absolutely frightening.
It's that. For me, it's the brilliance of it that, yeah, people have become accustomed to his left foot step and he can do you with it, so defend inside. And I'll just beat you with pure pace on outside.
It's not pure pace. It's an in and out move.
Oh yeah, but I'll beat you on the outside. I'll beat you on the inside. Whichever one you don't do, I'll just beat you.
Mm.
And Farrell backing up on the inside does what he needs to do. Is Jake Wardle the best centre in this country?
Yes.
Yeah.
Easily the best centre in this country.
Mm.
There's not even a discussion anymore.
I'm just about to say, is he the best centre, the best English centre in the world? He's up there with Herbie.
You can have that conversation. I'd rather have Wardle. You can have the conversation.
Yeah.
And if I'm England coach Sean Wayne, that's quite obviously who I'm going to pick in the centres.
They're the two.
They're locked in if they're fit.
Just some serious quality.
We've got him tied down for 7 years as well, boys. Jay Wardle's got a 7-year contract.
Is it 7?
7? This is year 1 of a 7-year contract. He's no NRL ambition.
Mm.
So it's year 1 of a 7-year contract. If he gets better, my goodness me, if he's not entered his prime now.
Just quality.
I remember when we got him, I said I think he could be a Wigan great.
Yeah.
And I think he will be. He
Well,
sticks around for long, like you say, on that.
Lenigan leaked it. I've said before, Anna Lenigan leaked it at that end of... He actually said Joe Wardle. But let's just excuse that from Lenigan.
Yeah.
I think we all knew we weren't signing Joe Wardle.
Should we have a talk about a couple of things in this game? First of all, we had a talk about the points. We kept a point system this year.
Mm-hmm.
Bevan French has to get 3.
Yeah. I was actually sitting there in the game thinking, he's going to get 3 again, isn't he?
Yeah.
And it's going to be really boring because he's so far ahead of everyone else.
Yeah, but I do think if anyone else in this, in the country watching this game would pick your best 3 players from this game, they would pick the 3 that we have. Bevan French, Jake Wardle, phenomenal. Liam Marshall with that finish.
Just for that finish, he has
point.
to get a point for the finish. I think there's a few unlucky.
Mm.
Thompson did big minutes. O'Neill, fantastic. Kieran was great. I liked a lot of what Kieran did. But yeah, I think Ellis was good as well. But I think them 3, they've got to get points this week.
Yeah. Bevan French, 16 tries, 17 try assists, 19 games.
He is going to get 20 of each, comfortably.
I'm going to go 50 try involvements this season. I think he'll get 25 of each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liam Marshall, 23 tries in 19 games. So there's 12 league games left, plus the playoffs. How many could Marshall end up with, do you reckon?
Marshall, I mean, he should get over 30.
Yeah, I was going to say 30.
I think.
What's the try record for a season?
I don't know, because they never do all competitions, do they?
No.
Because it's not really fair. I know last year, well Bevan won it with 31 in just league. But you got to think Marshall, he scored a few in the cup, didn't he? He scored quite a few in the cup. I think he scored 4 against Cass in the cup, or 3 at least. And he scored against Sheffield as well. He scored against Sheffield. So yeah,
I'd love to see what the most tries in a British season is.
it's probably Vanicola. But I bet Bevan was close when he got 31.
Yeah.
You know, Bevan scored his first try on Easter Monday, by the way, in like round 9 or 10. When he got 31, he scored his first try on Easter Monday.
There's a difference. Something else from this game. Feel very, very sorry for Mark Cooper.
Oh, yeah.
Who got knocked out early on with an accidental head clash. And today has been fined £250. Can you imagine waking up and being knocked out and being like, yeah, Mike, by the way, yours £250. Like, what a bad day at the office. How did you get knocked out and then get fined for like
To be fair, it was a shocker from me. But I said to you, listen, the game, like he stood up and whatever, and they were talking to him.
Might send him off.
I went, he's fine here. Right, he'll go off to his head HIA and come back on.
Not a chance.
And then he started walking. And he was all over the place, and I went, yeah, I think we'd seen him for the day.
I thought they might have given him a yellow card. Because then they used to give cards for that, didn't they?
Yeah.
You know, the head clash.
But to talk about the fine, I think it's fair. It's gone on with what the season's
Oh,
gone
yeah,
on.
it did.
Amon's been done a couple of times, and
He's in the wrong position.
a few other places, head on head. He's got no real...
But it is unfortunate that he knocked him out and then he got fined. It's the only thing he did in the game, so it's not like he got fined for anything else.
One thing I wanted to mention, Jack Fryman in the house.
Sure.
One thing I really liked from this game, 20 tackles from him. Didn't
Didn't stick out, did it?
Kai O'Donnell really tried to do a job on him early on,
A few of them did.
which you would expect. A young lad defending at 6, he's not the biggest. Did a really good defensive performance.
Yeah.
Kept taking the line on. Yeah, he got pushed back a few times and dominated a couple of tackles, but
He didn't stick out, did he?
no, definitely not. Couple of things to mention. Let's talk about when there's been a sin binning in the game.
Yeah, this was me doing some maths on the way home.
Yeah, you were driving, I was right.
The M6 was closed, so I couldn't go home on the M6. And then I thought, I wonder what the stats would be for when we go down to 12 men with a sin bin, because it always feels like we defend it for each other.
Yeah,
especially an unjust one like what we thought the O'Neill one was, and the Cooper one in the final. Your teammates, and this is the reason you do those beach June sprints in Formby, and this is the reason you do team bonding sessions and you go away together to training camp instead of just doing it in Wigan. This is why culture is important. When your teammate gets yellow carded and goes and sits in a sin bin for 10 minutes, you back him up and you give everything not to concede while he's off the pitch. And I thought we were a brilliant team at defending with 12 men.
Yeah.
And then I thought, I wonder how brilliant. I wonder if we've got positive points difference in the time.
I'm going to ask Lewis, because I know Lewis doesn't know the numbers to this. What would you expect? 8 times. So this only includes yellow cards.
8 times we've been yellow carded this year.
So an 80-minute game, what would you expect the scoreline for that 80 minutes to be? I know this is really tough to think of on the
scoreline.
Yeah, we've worked it out.
Or just positive points difference.
If we've had like eight sin bins.
8 sin bins.
So I would say you're looking at conceding maybe. I would say probably 3 to 4 tries you'd think you'd
in those altogether.
Conceding altogether, you'd think for that. And you wouldn't expect to score. So I'd go maybe. You'd expect. I know it's not going to be this, but I'm trying to think logistically. You probably expect I would go like maybe -10 or something like that. -10, maybe -16.
I would have been expecting that as well.
Yeah.
Well, in the 8 games, we've only conceded 1 try. That was Huddersfield.
Yeah.
The game after the World Cup Challenge. It's happened to Castleford. The scoreline was 2-2. Huddersfield 6. we played Salford where Harry Smith got sin-binned and we won that 12-0. 2 tries. Saints, when Dupree got sin-binned for, was it leading with the elbow? Neither team scored a point. Huddersfield away, we got 8-0 up. Hull KR in the semi-final, we got 6-0 up. Warrington got 2 points in the Challenge Cup final, and Leigh got 0. We actually win them 80 minutes, 34 points to 10, when being down to 12 men.
So while we've been down to 12 men, in those 8 times, we've got 34 points, and the opposition combined has got 10. So we're plus 24 across 8 times we've been sin-binned. That's absolutely outrageous. When then we started to think about what about when other teams get sin-binned against us? As I said before, when the yellow card goes up, we attack.
Yeah.
So you work that one out.
And in the time that we've been playing against 12, we've conceded 4 points in total. And it was 2 penalties. One was against Warrington in the Challenge Cup final, and then Cass away the week after. We conceded a penalty in both of them. In the other games, that
was Cass at the start of the season when Smith got sin-binned.
No, sorry, this is... that was the week after.
We didn't have a sin-bin the week after the final.
Because
it was the first game of the season. Harry Smith got sin-bin and they kicked 2. First game of the season, that was.
But Wigan scored 64 points. 64 points to 4 in the 9 times that we've been against 12 men. So, not only turning up for each other, but then actually seeing that chink in the armour and really putting the foot down and trying to get points and make it hurt teams. It's a massive thing.
It's being relentless.
Sorry,
it's
nothing. It was the game after the Challenge Cup. They had a yellow card in the second half for the Castleford for the hit on.
Oh yeah,
Miskey.
Kane Robb. Oh, I forgot. I thought it was when we were getting sin-binned.
No.
Yeah. Kane Robb got sin-binned, didn't he?
Oh, we won that spell
for belting Miskey.
6 points to 2. So it's a real.
If there's a yellow card in a game, we usually make the most of it if it's given to us or not.
We certainly don't end up on the negative side an awful lot. The one time we've actually come out negative when down to 12 was against Huddersfield.
Yeah, we were already winning that game
in the World Cup Challenge. We'd either been drawing or won that 10 minutes. And that must be demoralising that you think here's the chance to get some points on up Wigan.
And it ends up 0-0 after the 10 minutes. You guys coming back on. And then you don't.
Or you're actually losing points.
Or you concede points while the other team 10 to 12. Yeah, that was really, really annoying.
Really, really annoying. Right, that wraps it up. We'll come back shortly to go around the grounds. Thank you.
Eyecatchers then for this week. Let's have same order as usual. Tom, you go first. What caught your eye in the world of rugby league this week?
I'm gonna be a bit of a spoil sport here. I've got to pick 2 things. Viliami kick out with a brilliant shot against the Waz. Just everything, shoulder just below the ball, puts him on his backside. An absolute brilliant shot.
Probably gets suspended in this country.
Yeah, probably gets suspended.
You always pick a bell ringer, you?
Yeah, I might just have shot of the week.
Just have shot. That's shot of the week. Yeah. And then now actually do your eye catch. Yeah, I like that.
Do you use Barry McDermott and Terry O'Connor to do Baz and Terry's big hits? Maybe we could have a segment.
Was it like a set of 6?
Yeah,
they have like a 6 big hits.
Big hits. We can do that.
Well, there you go. Big hit of the week.
That's it. Viliami kick out. Well done. You've won big hit of the week. I'm sure he's delighted.
Can we send him something? Well done.
All the way to Canterbury.
My eye catcher though, Ben Reynolds. What a merry-go-round to a season. Just remember, we're at the start of July. Like, this isn't like a full season. Before the season, left Leigh, contract had ended, went to Featherstone.
Yep, made captain.
Played in the Challenge Cup. 2 games I think he played. And Hull KR signed him. They've obviously let Jordan Abdul go to Catalan. They've signed Ben Reynolds. Really funny, Mikey Lewis can't play in the Challenge Cup. They try and play Ben Reynolds. Ben Reynolds had already been cup tied because he played for Featherstone. So they send him back on dual reg to Featherstone. He plays a couple of games for them. Comes back and plays for Hull KR. Plays a game. then goes on loan to Hull FC. Hull FC fans done a decent job for him, quite happy with him. Looking at maybe could they get him for the 2025 season. They've got Abdul, a couple of things, some signings there. Could they keep Ben Reynolds? This morning, Hull KR have terminated his loan and agreed to release him from his contract to sign an 18-month deal back at Featherstone. What a strange set of circumstances.
I don't know what's going on.
I hope he's not bought an house in Hull.
Can't have bought one in Featherstone, can he? Wasn't there long enough?
I know. It's things like this that make rugby league great.
Yeah.
Could you imagine this in the Premier League? We'll send you on loan to.
What if they send him on loan to Hull FC tomorrow morning? Is there a plan in place for that? Like, what would we do as a society if
Would he have to get a new squad number?
No, we wouldn't have to get a new one.
The Hull KR Ben Reynolds.
No, because 47 is still available. It can still be 47.
It just made me laugh, and I thought, yeah.
Well, Hull are going to need someone now, because
they're looking for another loan signing.
Reynolds was available, wasn't they?
They're looking for a loan signing. Rocky Hampshire?
I don't know. I think we need him.
I think we need him. We need him around
if
now.
Field was fit, maybe, but
potential though. Lewis, your eye catcher. What's caught your eye this week?
Yeah, a story from the Championship. Caught my eye for the wrong reasons, I think. It's a weird one, I think. So, Nick Gregson, player currently at Widnes. Widnes played Swinton in the Championship this week, just gone. Gregson used to play for Swinton, I believe, last season.
Yeah.
It's a new coach at Swinton, so Gregson's kind of returned to his old club to play against them, with Widnes playing against Swinton. But the coach at Swinton has changed, so it's not like he's going back to facing his old coach. It's someone completely new. He didn't leave on bad terms. He just kind of reached the end of his contract and took an opportunity with Widnes. And it's been leaked that the coach has printed off a photograph of him and put it around the changing room, I think as like I don't know if you want to call it a motivation technique for his players, try and get them fired up.
I think he probably was.
But it's a picture of Nick Gregson with a noose around his neck, and apparently Gregson has said that the coach is accused the coach of saying to his players, target his injured shoulder, because we know it's injured, in a deliberate attempt to try and injure and get him on the sideline.
Which it is, because he now needs surgery.
Yeah. So it's kind of come out, and a lot of people now are criticising obviously the coach and Swinton as a club, and there's been a lot of backlash of a bit like clubs have dual edges with them, saying actually terminate like the partnership with Swinton after like this. It's very strange. I'm interested almost to see how it's going to fold out in the end of it. Yeah,
there was another instance of some Oldham players.
Is it Jordan Turner?
No, he does play for Oldham, but it wasn't him. He wrote about it, but it wasn't about him. It was some Oldham players with like fake bandages and blood all over them, and like cuts all over them, like that he'd drawn on, basically saying do the same thing. It was a bit Ravon, yeah. You can do anything with colour photocopier and access to the internet, a bit of a Ravon situation. But when you've got lads who've worked all week, teachers like us, plumbers, people who wire houses or roofers or whatever, and you play a game with your mates on a Saturday or a Sunday, you just don't expect this, do you?
No.
You don't expect this. But if you're a professional, you don't expect it. But if you're just playing on a Sunday with your team, trying to represent your team, trying to earn a few quid, you definitely don't expect this.
There's two sides to this. Obviously, the Photoshop picture is just ridiculous. And I have no doubt that players do go out there and know who's carrying a knock.
Well, running at an injured player, you could say, I could run at an injured player, or I could target an injured player when he's got the ball.
If your opposition number is he's struggling with a shoulder, you're going to try and get on his outside shoulder and make him tackle and make him work. But to go out and what's been accused is to say that deliberately go after his injured shoulder to hurt him. It's just a line you don't cross, I don't think.
The picture's the worst part of this.
Yes.
The picture's really, really poor. A really poor side.
It's very, very counterintuitive, isn't it? When we've got Run about tackles even, people getting simulations, and when they were using phrases like, "Oh, you have a duty of care towards your opponent,"
Yeah.
but then we're targeting injuries and we're putting pictures of him with a noose around his neck. But you've got a duty of care towards that player as well.
Yeah.
The rules say, like, what we on about? Like, you know what I mean? It's very counterintuitive.
It goes back to that. I have no doubt that when you're in a game, listen, if you see someone who's hobbling and he's got cramp, you've got to run at him.
Yeah.
There is an element of you've got to take an advantage when it's there. Someone's, I don't know, struggling with an elbow, you're going to target him in defence. But to deliberately go out and try and hurt an injury.
And to be shouting that in front of the supporters and shouting, attack Gregson's shoulder, attack Gregson's, which is apparently what he was doing, the coach. I think he'll have some difficult questions thrown his way. Slightly off topic, but Nick Gregson was one I was convinced was going to make it when he played for us. I really liked
He really
him.
just suffered with injuries. And
He
never,
had some terrible injuries at the worst possible time, just after he broke through. But I thought he was a real player.
he felt like he always got 2 or 3 games back and then something happened and really unlucky. Matty, your eye-catcher, mate.
Yeah, mine's the England game. Sort of good and bad, really, because I thought a lot of good rugby was played. France have clearly improved. The academy side beat ours in like 40 points to 37, which is a ridiculous scoreline. You got 37 points and lost. But yeah, I thought there's some great rugby played, but it was in front of nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody really cared. Sam Wood, unfortunately, who was on England debut, he's out for the season with an injury picked up there, and Craig Lingard said, well, maybe in the future coaches shouldn't release their players for these meaningless games.
I think he's called it an embarrassment or something.
He called it an embarrassment, which it was, but I wouldn't have said.
I want to just change to that. I love what the French side have done. It was on free-to-air telly across France and Catalans. Toulouse have let some of their players go who should have been playing in the Championship. They have every right not to.
But more people turned up for the Toulouse versus Featherstone game after than went for England versus France.
And that definitely should have been the first game.
I just don't get it. I don't.
And you can stay on to watch England-France. You want more people at that.
Last year we spoke about England-France being a pretty dull and uninspiring fixture, and then it was our complete B team. Here we had a few missing, obviously. We had no NRL contingent. But then it was a complete B team, and we just romped home. At least this time it was a bit competitive. But what we said last time was about Lancashire and Yorkshire. And actually, Matty Pete's come out and said it this last couple of weeks. Like, he thinks Lancashire versus Yorkshire could be the answer. And we've always, in the media, we've always danced around it. And players have always said, oh yeah, it could be a good idea, it might work. And coaches have always said that. For him to come out and just say, yeah, try it. Back it, try it. I mean, last year we laid it all out, didn't we? We wrote down some squads that we just come up with in 10 minutes and locations for it could be played. It's got to be better than this. And I get, if you're from Cumbria or if you're from London, what do you do? If you're from the Midlands, what do you do?
You can still follow it.
But it's
We're
still
not from Queensland or New South Wales.
Exactly.
But we still tune
Exactly.
in and watch it every year because it's a
Exactly.
big build-up, do you know what I mean?
And, somebody like... I'm trying to think of somebody who plays for Queensland or New South Wales that wasn't necessarily born there. There's lots of them, lots of examples. They still managed to play in the games,
Well, there's plenty of players who represent Samoa and...
Samoa and New South Wales, yeah. There's Samoa and Queensland. So that's a bit fluid. I just think back it, try it. If you can get passion there and you can get... Supporters will turn up for it. But you've got to be okay with it not being sold out straight away. You've got to be okay with players pulling out at the beginning. You've got to build it. The beginning State of Origin was terrible. New South Wales won all the time. And no one cared about it. And it was just an absolute farce. But they stuck with it. And I wouldn't say it's at its highest peak now, but probably 10 years ago it was, 20 years ago it was. All our lifetime State of Origin has been enormous.
It's very easy solved though. That just get Phil Gould a promotional video for it.
Oh yeah,
and that
Phil
gets
Gould.
people flooded in.
intro.
That
What
gets
was it
people
called,
flooded in.
Gus's final word. Imagine Gus's final word, but on like Halliwell Jones or Headingley for a game 3. It's
Flying.
one apiece. Lancashire against Yorkshire is one apiece. They fly in Gus. to hype up the flying Matt Thompson to call a game.
I feel like him who does all the boxing announcements. They just fly him.
Yeah,
from
Michael
wherever.
Buffer. I'm convinced he's always on a plane, or there's 15 of him. Because he's at every boxing match ever, in it. Wherever he is in the world, Michael Buffer will be there.
Yeah, but just stick with it. Give it a go, because what's happening now isn't working.
But,
It's not.
I mean, England have won a test match, and as cricket fans and as football fans, like, England have won. Yeah, England have beaten France, well done. Great, England have won a test match. But it just feels empty, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It just feels like no one's bothered that England have won a test match against France. No one's bothered.
No. Right, that wraps up Eyecatchers. Now we're actually going to come back and go around the grounds. So it's time to have a look around the grounds, and with that, have a look at the rest of the Super League. The league's really hotting up now. A couple of teams all fighting for positions, and we're going to have a little bit of a dive into how each team's looking coming up. But shall we start with St Helens and Castleford?
Yes, let's.
Yeah.
You've never been this excited for this.
Oh, I love it.
So, obviously, these games were all played on Friday, along with the Warrington-Huddersfield game. We sort of knew that the Warrington game was done and dusted. And then it sort of
2
murmured
minutes
around
to
the...
8, I think.
Yeah, it sort of murmured around the ground, didn't it? There was... The Saints had lost, and
Yeah.
they obviously announced the rest of the results at the ground after the game, like usual. But to say that Saints had lost to Castleford 6 points to 8, they were 4-0 up. Tries for St Helens was
They
Sam
were
Roy.
6-0 up, actually, because
6-0 up.
they took the 2, 4-0 up, and I was watching Red V. They booed.
Yeah.
The crowd booed the decision to take 2 when they were 4-0 up.
Yeah, so Sam Roll scored and Percival missed the conversion.
Yeah.
And then they took a penalty to go to 6-0 up.
But the crowd
After-
booed when
I
they
think-
when they called for the tee.
I think they had back-to-back sets as well.
Maybe.
And they were all over
There was
Castleford.
a set on the line. They turned in a set on the line for a 2.
And
I like taking the 2, but I think if you had a set on the line...
maybe if they'd been 6-0 and you go to 8,
Yeah.
you get it. But to go to 6,
Take it to 8.
I don't know.
Just means they have to get an extra 2 points, though, I suppose.
Yeah. Innis Senior scored for Castleford.
Yeah, it's a good try, this.
And Milnes kicked 2. How big of a win is this for Castleford? Like,
Yeah,
this was a game that they'd wrote off.
it's a good win. They were good last week. Well, 2 weeks ago, I suppose, against Hull KR in defeat. They were good against us in defeat. Well, they were alright against us in defeat, but they could have won that game. They could have beat Hull KR. It was a drop goal, wasn't it? They wanted a win out of this section. Saints away is
And to be fair, Castleford would have been thinking, we could just have 3 good performances.
and
I
get
would
no
take
points.
that and not get points
Yeah,
against
'cause it's-
Hull KR, Wigan and Saints.
I mean, they don't need points, do they?
No.
They don't need points in the table because they're just going to be stuck where they are.
Mbai got a 1-game ban. They are appealing it, those Saints. What's going on there? Do Saints need a change of man? It seems really hostile. Really, really hostile at the moment.
Should it be that hostile?
Don't know.
They are currently second, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're now
Sort of
joined.
like-
They're now joined with 3 other teams. Is it 3 other?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on 22 points. I don't think it's just.
Are they a victim of the success they've had for the last couple of years, do
Yes.
you think? Is that what it is?
David Moyes syndrome, DMS.
Yeah. It's, do you know what I mean? They're in second at the end
whoever's-
of the day. It's not, they're not in crisis. It's not like they've dropped down to, and they're not struggling again in the top 6. Like, but
Whoever's the next
Next
manager
week
after...
they've got the potential to be 5th after next week.
yeah. And
Yeah,
so
but
they're
tough
6
on
points.
yeah,
from
but
the
they might
leaders.
be 2 points off the leaders
Yeah,
and have done the double over them.
but
Maybe you never know.
they've lost 2 in a row. The next 3 are Wigan away, Warrington at home, Leigh away.
3 tough games.
If you lose them 3,
They'll not lose all 3.
I think there's a couple of things with this one. I think, one, the fans are very aggy. But the fans, how can I put this? Fans, I think, sometimes can overreact a little bit, especially when they lose at home. It's never nice losing at home.
Yeah.
But I remember a couple of years ago when Leeds beat them and they were giving Jip to Rowan Smith as he was waiting for it to do his post-match interview and stuff, and they can just turn very bitter when things aren't. They can't just take a loss on the chin and we go again next week.
Well,
They
Lewis
can
Dodd
turn
was
very bitter.
Lewis Dodd was arguing back to them.
Yeah,
was berated from the sounds of it. Obviously, I've not seen. I wasn't there and didn't see
It
it.
just feel like Lewis Dodd. It doesn't feel like he's the scapegoat because he's leaving.
I've heard Wellham's called his players out as well.
Yeah, well, he said in his post match.
The shirt means something. It means a lot to put this shirt on, and some players aren't playing like that or something. So
He might be right, but you can't say it in the media.
There's 2 or 3 possibilities here.
Criticised Devil Pearl for that many times on this podcast.
We have. Keep it in house.
But you know what? He might have been criticising him, and it might not have been working. This might be the last straw.
You can't go public though with it. I've heard these.
Especially Wellens, because he always talks about his players being a resilient and an honest group of players and an honest group of men, and he normally kind of says, when we're not to standards, we know what the standards are, and I've got a nice group of blokes who knows it's not good enough, and he normally speaks very highly of them, so it's very un-Wellens like this to call them out.
I just wonder, there's 2 or 3 things that could be happening. Wellens could be doing everything right in training, and they're just not performing. That's one possibility. The other is he's coaching them to play this way. They talk about Lewis Dodd, and Lewis Dodd's getting a lot of criticism. But he came on the scene as an exciting halfback that was creative and could play off the cuff. And now they're questioning him why he's kicking the way that he's kicking. Why is he not playing? That could be him, and that's the coaching staff.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because they clearly fielded a slightly weakened team for this game. It should still have
the 1, 6 and 7.
It should still have had enough to beat Castleford. But it was a weakened side, and they were saying on Red V there's probably 8 from the 17 that would probably get in.
I don't think 8. I don't think it's 8.
There was a interesting tweet that somebody sent out that said all 8 who are missing would walk into any team in Super League, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm actually going to find out who he named because I've got it here.
It was Jake Winfield was the most egregious one. Jake Winfield would walk into any team in Super League.
Yeah, that's an interesting.
Which is just not true, is it?
No.
It's just not. It's wrong. I mean, Matt Whitley would probably walk into most teams in Super League.
He wouldn't walk into them all though.
But he wouldn't walk into them all. You'd have to have a conversation. Like, would you have him over in Sember and Farrell? Probably not.
No.
Makinson, Lomax, Walmsley, Batchelor, Knowles, Whitley and Wingfield. Now, I don't want to be funny, but Batchelor and Whitley possibly don't get in when you've got Metalti at second row and Sirinen. So one of them's missing out. You can't play 4 second rows.
You also can't name 3 second rowers and say they all walk into somebody. That's just impossible, isn't it? You know what I mean?
And they're now saying they've got Bell at 13, who's the best 13. They're missing Walmsley.
They are missing Walmsley. They're missing Makinson because they tried Benison and it didn't work. They tried Ritson and it didn't work. They're missing Makinson. But the problem they're going to have, Makinson, is next year.
He's going.
Tommy Makinson, he's gone to Catalans. And like when Roby left, they replaced him with Darryl Clark.
Yeah.
And we all said, good signing. He's a good player, Darryl Clark. He's English, so he doesn't count in the quota.
The 2 options to get were Tom Davis and Tom Johnston.
International standard. But what I mean is, and I said it at the time, if Lomax leaves, which he's not doing, but Dodd is, or Makinson, or Percival, or Walmsley, when these guys retire, you can't replace them with like a Darryl Clark player every time because you can't afford it. No team can afford that.
No.
Your problem, if your quota players leave, they're easier to replace.
Yeah.
Cade Cust leaves for us, he's easier to replace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Diggy left last year for, what's his name? The centre. The overseas. For Saints. They replaced him with Embar. Hopawati.
Easier to replace.
Lusick left and they replaced him with
Easy to replace, yeah. If your best players are British and they leave and they're on a lot of money and you're getting a lot of cap dispensation for them being on a lot of money, it's hard to replace them. If Harry Smith left, it would be hard to buy in a replacement.
My thing that I don't accept with Saints. They started the season with Benison. He was the number 5. He's your starting winger, and they chose not to play him. Multiple times. They bought Ritson. They paid a fee for him, and have chose not to play him. They've got young lads coming through. Thingy Davis, what's his name?
That Johnny Vaughan's a back in it.
Yeah.
Radio X.
But
Whatever it is, Reevesy Radio 1.
But they have Davis. He's squad number 21. And they're not playing him.
To be fair to the fans, and I do get Davis and Sam Royal get a bit of stick.
But that's squad management.
Yeah,
we talked about squad management. Even in the 4 years that they had, that they were 2 or 3 injuries away from pulling in players that they really don't want to play.
Ben Davis and Sam Royal as your backups. Are they really good enough to be backups for a team at the top of the table?
No, not just backups, immediate backups.
That's what I mean.
These aren't squad members.
Third or fourth, you could be third or fourth string if you Ben Davis or Sam Royal. That's what I'm saying. For St Helens,
it's not the squad management and the squad retention and rotation hasn't been good enough. And Wigan have got that challenge now of keep refreshing it, and they're going to have to do it over the next 2-3 years to keep the squad fresh and
Chris Radlinski came out and said we can't keep them all in the salary cap spot. So that is the
biggest trouble. They talk about top 30 in the NRL, don't they?
We have top 25, don't we?
We have a top 25. I mean, you could make it a top 30, and our 30 is Jack Farrell, didn't it?
Yeah.
Or 29, you say, with the Warriors fans as number 18.
Yeah.
But we have a top 25. Do you give contracts to people in the top 25? That's not that many players. When you think you have to field 18 a week, you have a few injuries. That's not that many players.
Have 3 players injured.
At least.
Minimum.
At least. So you really need to give your top 25. They all need to deserve it. Those 25 all need to be ready to play.
And I don't think that's the case. Do we have to move on? I can carry on talking about things going wrong at Saints.
To answer your question, so because you said, do they need a new man? Not yet.
No, I agree.
I think it's a bit hesitant, but you're sitting in second. I get
agree.
your point. There's a couple of teams sitting, but you're sitting in second. There's a long, there's still games to go this season.
Who are you going to bring in now?
It's a very, very rash
this is
decision.
It's Leigh apparently bringing in Brad Arthur.
And not now, though.
Not now.
Not now. You're going to bring in now who's going to help you win the league this year. No one better than Wellens is going to come in now and win the league this year. Not going to happen.
But how long do you wait?
Well, you can do what we did with Adrian Lamb and allow him to run his contract out. He is not contracted for next year. Not officially, anyway. The rumour is he's signed a contract. And they're just waiting for a good string of wins to announce it. But as of now, he's not under contract for next year. So do you just wait? Wait him out?
I just can't believe how hostile it already is. And that, I don't think it's about the results. I think it's the way the results have happened. It's the
performances, how they are playing the rugby the fans are seeing at the ground.
And you can play defensive, aggressive. Let's try and keep this game close against Wigan, against Catalan, because they're the top teams and you have to be strong defensively. But you can't try and play that way against Castleford. And Castleford scored 1 try and beat you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
1 try.
That's a good point.
We're going to talk about, because if you can see 1 try in a game, you win. 99% of the games, if you can see 1 try, you win. Well, that's only assuming you can get 2. 80 minutes, you should be able to get 2 tries against anyone.
At home?
When you're meant to be one of the best teams in the competition.
It was second at home against 11th. Or 10th. Casa 10th, aren't they? So really...
And that's why I don't think it's... I've seen people saying it's screaming of Cunningham. That's not a great comparison. I just think it could get really, really hostile and you could end up with what Leeds are dealing with right now.
I mean, we need to beat them on Friday. There's no excuses. We need to beat them on Friday and make it worse. We need to.
Big time.
Warrington will be eyeing that up as well the week after.
Yeah.
Leigh will be eyeing that up. I mean, if they lose them 2, Leigh will be eyeing that up big time. Think how much pressure we could put them under if they lose the next 3. That'd be 5 in a row. But we have to do the job on Friday first. And it's a derby. You know they always say about derbies, throw the form book out the window.
Yeah, anyone can win that.
And it usually goes to the home advantage, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I hope it does again.
Just quickly on Cass. The end a 3-game losing streak. We've got London next week away. Just throw some statistics at you.
London LA.
In August 2021, 3 seasons, nearly 3 whole years ago, Castleford won 3 consecutive away fixtures against Leeds, Saints and Hull. They haven't won back-to-back away games since.
Oh.
That's awful, right?
August 2021. That's when we were in our era of not scoring any tries.
Yeah, we couldn't get a point. I remember we took 2 against Saints at home just so we didn't get nilled. But also, the last time they won back-to-back games at all was July 22. It could be 2 years since they won back-to-back games.
Yeah. Well, they only won 5 games last year, or 6 games last year. Out of 27.
Just to win a game the week after you've already won.
This is a big chance.
They have to beat London next week.
Big chance.
Yeah.
Well, Craig Lingard has got a bucket hat, and I think that is what's turning Castleford's fortunes around.
He's put his shoes back on.
His orange bucket hat.
He's put his shoes back on.
His shoes just back on.
It is cold at Weldon Road.
Yeah, it must be. You never used to wear shoes at Batley. But I saw lots of bucket hats, blue ones, leopard print on Friday. Leopard print bucket hats while I was driving to the ground.
Fair enough. Right. Warrington. This was also on Friday night. 48-0. They beat Huddersfield. Vaughan, King, Wrench, Duffy, Ty, Nicholson, Drinkwater,
All the big hitters.
and Ratchford all scored. Ratchford kicked 8 from 8. Good stuff for Warrington. They've kept the pace. They did suffer a little bit after the Challenge Cup.
Absolute demolition job. Warrington are back on track.
International fixture come at that time.
Yeah,
I agree.
Needed a break, needed to reset,
Break
take
the
the
season
break off and just go, right, let's have a bit of a reset here. We've lost a cup, let's have a week together to try and get back on track.
I just remember they did that without both of the wingers. No Ashton and no... forgot his name. Thewlis. Neither of them played.
No.
They did 4 centres, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they had Ty and King on the wings with Ratchford and Wrench in the centre.
Yes.
And Huddersfield played 4 wingers.
Yeah.
We said they should have swapped.
Yeah. Warrington. Big 3 weeks for Warrington.
Yeah.
Leeds at home. Saints away. Wigan away.
Yeah.
They could get 2 wins there. Keeps them really in touch with that top.
Oh, if
top
they get
4.
2 wins out of that, then they'll be really delighted.
Huddersfield. Lewis, you didn't back him this week.
No.
That's because he's got at least 3 brain cells.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Ian Watson said that he's not going to take advice off people that have never done anything? Back at the start of the season on BBC Yorkshire or something like that. On the radio.
Maybe he needs to start
Take some advice. Nilled, conceding 48 points.
It's dreadful.
3 straight defeats.
It's dreadful.
I tell you what, look at the running now. Leigh away, Salford at home, Leeds at home. That could be awful.
I mean, you're assuming they're going to lose those 3, which would make it, 6 back-to-back defeats?
6 back-to-back defeats.
Just turn the page over there and tell me what position they're in the league table.
They're currently 8 on 12 points.
8th.
Leigh are behind them on 11.
8th in the league.
Castleford are in now.
Huddersfield have been good enough to be 8th in the league. I know they had a good start.
But just put this into perspective.
Tells you something about the league.
Castleford play London next week and could go to 11 points.
Yeah.
That would be 2 teams behind Huddersfield. Leigh with a game in hand.
Yeah, against us.
Against us. But, oh my God, Huddersfield could be in 10th.
I have a funny feeling Huddersfield will finish 10th.
I think they will. I think Leigh definitely get above them.
I agree.
Yeah.
They're not going to catch Leeds, who are on 18. Realistically, and it's just whether Castleford can pick up.
I think Castle could get 2 more wins. Castle could get 2 more wins.
So bad this. They've got problems on the field, they've got problems off the field. Jake Connors come out and said he doesn't want to play for him.
Has he said that? I've not seen that, sorry.
I think, yeah, he's saying he doesn't want to
I know he was loan listed.
play.
I think he's taking that Ben Reynolds spot. I think he's going to All FC.
So I think he said, yeah. I'm sure it's either he said he doesn't want to play, or he said maybe he's not wanted it or something. It looks like there's been a fallout between him and the club, him and Watson. He's been naming his 18th man and he's not been playing.
Ken Davey came out and fronted it up on Friday night, released a statement. I was expecting it to mention Ian Watson, didn't at all. And fair play to Davey for fronting that up, but he puts a lot of money into that club, Ken Davey.
So what's he said in the statement?
He just said it's not good enough for the fee-paying spectators. It's not good enough. We're going to aim to do better. We always aim to do better. We have higher standards than this. Which, I mean, it's true.
They got to a Challenge Cup final 2
years ago.
2 years ago, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. And they finished
Signed some
3rd.
Big signings.
Yeah. Spend some money. I mean, Davey always spends money. You can't accuse him of not spending money.
And spending more. They brought Burgess in
I know.
for next year.
He spent money on next year. That I think that'll be his biggest worry. He spent money for next year, and it looks like it's going to be. I mean, the season was over 3 months ago when they lost in the cup, but it looks like next season might be over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's got some serious questions to answer, Ken Davey, from a coaching standpoint.
I look at Huddersfield's squad, and they don't have a pack. They're led around by Chris Hill, who
He's hardly played.
is 35,
He's
I want to
hardly
say.
played.
And Joe Greenwood, who has an injury-ridden career, picks up injury.
Joe Greenwood's a half decent second
And he's a
row
second rower.
/ prop.
He's a second rower.
He's not your pack leader, is he?
They're losing Matty English, isn't he club captain?
I think Hill might be club captain, but English might be doing it at the minute.
Wow.
Is Yates? Yates is off.
Oh, Yates
Yates
has gone
is
to
going
Warrington.
He's the captain.
Sorry, English is on loan at Castleford. Sorry, I've got
English
that
is
mixed up.
leaving at the end of the year, though. They lost Owen Trout
They've
to
lost
Leigh.
Owen Trout.
Big player. Owen Trout's a good player.
And you're bringing in Burgess. I get that they brought the second rower in, the Aussie second rower. Forget his name. Murky.
Yeah, he's been unlucky.
Who I rate.
He's been injured, hasn't
But this is...
he?
How bad does it have to get for him to be sacked?
I think if he loses the next 3, that's 6 in a row. He's gone. He has to get a result against Leeds, or who was it? Warrington.
Sorry.
No,
Leigh, Salford, Leeds.
He needs to get a result from one of them at least. At least.
But you have to think, Salford at home, but Salford's really tough. Oh, sorry, no. Sorry, that's Salford at Huddersfield.
And to think he had Tony Smith's dinner and his sticky toffee pudding earlier in the season. And his
points have come against
and
the
his
left
after dinner mince or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Did he have a third? He beat him a third time.
Coffee and mint.
But
He beat him 3 times. They've had 3 wins against Hull FC. In the cup he beat him, didn't he? That was for his sticky toffee pudding. And then a coffee and mince when that was against Scott Griggs.
Yeah.
Or Simon Griggs. I still don't know which one it is.
They've got to go to Leigh, and Leigh will be looking to bounce back and get a win. That's
Leigh
again,
will
they'll
be
be
taking
highlighted.
Well, Leigh will opt for leapfrog and mid-table.
Salford are going to be looking at. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. That'd sort Leigh out. They'd be ahead.
Leigh would win if Leigh
Leigh
won
will
next
leapfrog
time.
and mid-table.
Salford are fighting for top 4, if we're being honest.
I agree.
And Leeds might have a new coach by then.
Salford are fighting for the top 2. If Snead didn't do that short dropout,
They'd be clear.
they'd be 2 points behind us.
Yeah. And Leeds,
We're still talking.
It's mental, this. Think about it.
just think Leeds probably going to have a new coach by then. Sorted out. Apparently they're waiting to announce Brad Arthur. There was talks of...
For next year at
No.
Brad Arthur.
I think it's immediate.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to bring him in now.
Chef
He said they're
Walker's
gonna
doing the
talk
job,
with him.
and Chef Walker's 2 from 2, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just... He's the next one to be sacked.
I liked Chef Walker as a player. He
Yeah.
was a solid player, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I liked Chef Walker.
Right, shall we move on to Saturday?
Yeah.
Speaking of
game-
Chef Walker.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 games, 1 in Golden Point.
Yep. And there was 2 games winning Golden Point in the NRL.
Yeah.
There was a draw in the Championship. All on Saturday. 5 out of 6 or something games went to Golden Point. Or was it,
So I'm just going to ask you the age-old question.
No.
Golden Point, yes or no?
No.
No.
Okay, I'm glad with that. Because London deserve a point, and Hull KR deserve a point from these games.
And so do Leeds and Catalan.
Leeds don't deserve 2, they deserve 1. And Catalan don't deserve 2.
If it can be a draw, like Rochdale and Keighley
And Leigh and Castleford.
and Leigh and Castleford, if it can be a draw after 90 minutes, it can be a draw after 80. If a game can end in a draw,
It should be after 80.
it can be a draw after 80. I don't get the Golden Point
Yeah.
in a league match, but we said it before.
But Leeds win 17 points to 16. I think this is a big win. The manner of it, just not losing to London.
Not losing to London at Headingley.
And just keeps your fans a little bit on side.
London again, though. How many times are we going to say it?
Shoot themselves in the foot.
They put themselves in such good positions where they work really hard in a game when they quite clearly throw the games away.
It was
on
16-10.
purpose. The 16-10 up. It gets to 16 apiece with the Reece Martin try. There's a ball steal. I think it might be on Hanley, maybe. There's a ball steal. Kershaw steals the ball. They go down. They nearly score. You're thinking, right, first tackle on the line. You've got 6 chances to drop a goal. Instead, they try and play through the hands. They end up going back to the 40-metre line from the try line. And then they're too far out to kick the drop goal.
Just think with this at 16-10, there's two moments of mad rugby league. The winger not letting that ball bounce to get a 20-metre restart, 7 tackle set.
Yeah.
And he just manages to stay in. And then they manage to get to the 40. And rather than just playing the percentage play, I get the wanting the break, but he drills it into touch just over halfway.
No, he tries to drill it into touch, but it hits a player.
Yeah, sorry.
And it bounces out halfway.
Why not just drop it in the corner? Drop it on top at winger and just pin him there.
I think we might just be used to Harry Smith being able to do that. It might just be a tricky skill. That 5-and-5 kick Lewis Howard mentions.
But it doesn't have to be 5-and-5. Be 10-and-10.
Yeah. You get that kick wrong though.
But just give your first tackle on the 20-metre line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And make them go 80. Don't risk it. There's feet there.
I just think once you get that ball steal and you're on the line, try and crash over 5 times. Even if you don't drop a goal.
Just go either side at post.
Just try and crash over 5 times. Mm-hmm. You tap a lot of energy out of them trying to stop that, because it's hard to stop 5 barge overs in a row.
And if you don't want to take the drop goal,
either
play on the 5th.
Either take a drop goal or play on the 5th.
Right.
But yeah, London just naivety again. And they've been in winning positions before and thrown it away, and it is a fitness thing. It's a match
confidence thing.
It's a match fitness thing and it's a confidence thing. That's why they could have 6 or 8 points this year if they'd held on to some winning positions.
Right. Let's move on to Hull KR Catalans at Craven Park.
Yeah.
This is a massive win for Catalans.
Taylor May was the guest of honour. In his brother's debut shirt, taking pictures with the kids. In the week he was sacked for, well, let's just say misconduct.
Yeah.
And let's leave it at that. But yeah, guest of honour.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about him. I don't want to give him the time of day, but Catalans 15 points to 14. Broadbent and Burgess score for Hull KR. Lewis kicks 3 from 3. De Costa and Johnston both score for Catalan. Morg kicks 3. Farsh hits the drop goal to win it. Hull KR must be really... I don't know what's going on. It's the first home defeat since March.
Yeah.
They've got Hull FC away next, which is obviously the chance to bounce back. But I don't think Hull KR's away form is good enough to lose games like this. They have to be perfect at home.
They have to take
near
care of
perfect.
business at home. The loss you mentioned there in March, that was against Warrington, wasn't it? By 2, I think.
On a Thursday night, if I remember right.
Yeah, it was. I'm pleased for Theo Farge. Maybe a big moment for him. He's obviously come back. He's played most of his career in England, but as a French-born player, he's come back to play for Catalan. There'll be a lot of pressure on him because he's replacing Mitch Pearce, don't forget. Yeah. He's also the prodigal son, French international, coming back.
The guy.
Everyone heralded it as an amazing signing, and he's been okay. Yeah. That's all he's been.
Yeah.
For him to have a match-winning moment like this...
Massive.
Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah, big moment for Theo Farge. I'm pleased for him.
Good position, Catalans. Back-to-back wins.
Yeah, Catalan. Yeah.
Stop the rot, really. They've been win-loss. They needed it. They needed back-to-back.
And they needed a win like this against a Hull KR away from, at Craven Park, because, it was alright of beating teams below them, but they weren't really doing it against the big teams they should be competing with. They were losing to Warrington, losing to Wiggins, losing to Saints. So actually to go and take out a genuine top 4 contender away from home.
And now they've got Salford at home. That could go back to back to back.
I'm excited for that match. That'd be a good match. Yeah. Catalan against Salford, sorry.
At Catalan, probably favourites there. They need to win that to go win.
I think Catalan are narrow favourites there, but if Salford win that, goodness me, watch out, because their momentum will be absolutely sky high.
Shall we talk about them? I think this was a big win. To get a win in them really close ones against teams that you should be beat, not play well, 22 points to 20. They were outscored by Hull FC. Hull FC scored 4 tries to Salford's 3. Ben Reynolds kicked 2 from 4 and Sneed kicked 5 from 6. It was his 300th game.
Yeah, Sneed's 300th game against his old team. Yeah. He made over half of those appearances for.
How much would Hull FC pay for Mark Sneed right now?
Hull FC needs someone like Mark Sneed. How many more years do you reckon he's got in for Salford? 2. Yeah, I think at least. The way he plays. He could do more than 2.
I think he'll do 2. But Brearley back for Salford. That's a big return.
Yeah, he scored, didn't he?
Yeah, scored.
And he should have had another try. The sniper got him from the stand, where the guy ankle tapped him, but he only fell over after about 3 more steps.
I love them. Oh,
It was a great move to get him free. What an offload that! I think it was Sam Stone, was it? All right, they're quite similar. Them two big lads.
I've got to say, this just reminded me. Who was it that got ankle tapped in the World Cup final?
Oh, Callum Watkins.
Callum Watkins by Dugan.
Talking of Salford.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah, but no, in England we would have missed that kick because he was going right in the corner. He was going to try and score right in the corner, so we probably would have missed the kick.
But good teams win games when they don't deserve to,
You know,
and that's what Salford have done.
I liked a lot from Hull FC. A lot of their young lads, but that fullback looks like a bit of a
Moy?
live way. Yeah, Moy. Yeah, he had a few obstructions because he was dancing about in the back, but he was rapid. He looked a bit of a live wire. I was impressed with that Aiden.
Yeah,
You know, as a forward,
The prop he came from Hull.
he came from Hull KR. He got quite a high number. He's in the 40s because he'd come from Hull KR mid-season. He was on loan, I think, initially, and then they swapped him with Jack Brown. But I was impressed with Aiden. I think he put himself about, and I know a lot of the fans have been impressed with him this year.
That Banford, so he was doing good before the
Oh, yeah,
international break
yeah.
as well. Is he in now?
He scored in this
Something like
match,
that.
yeah.
I've got a question about what I'm saying. Obviously, they've got a lot of kids in at the moment.
Yeah.
And I've seen calls for them to play the kids and do this and give them the experience. As a neutral, I don't have an opinion on this. Obviously, it's not my team and I don't follow them. I hope they don't burn some of them.
If they play like this, you don't mind playing the kids. Because they all play quite well. Barnforth, like you were saying, scored.
Yeah.
He nearly scored again.
I just
Martin scored. Moy set up a try.
I just think you have a risk of burning some of these kids, and they've got some big games coming up next. They've got to play Hull KR, they've got to play Wigan twice. I think they've got to play Saints.
Maybe you just manage
You've got to,
when you play them. Like, you don't want... I mean, it was against Hull FC, but that Bevan French, when he scored 7 tries on that one wing,
you can ruin someone.
you can't have that if it's against Lewis Martin, for example, because it could ruin him.
Hull FC's run. Hull KR, Wigan, Catalans, Saints, Leigh. That has a potential to ruin some players. Ruin. And I would not be surprised if they try and get Jake Connor in now as another experienced head.
Yeah.
Maybe get some older players in on loan for this month because you don't want to ruin them kids. It could not just sap them of confidence, but you could actually get someone a serious injury in one of them.
Yeah, you could do.
Men against boys. And none of them are going to take it easy on them, are they? Aren't we resting players, especially that middle set who are looking for second and need points difference. They're going to look to put points on.
Yeah.
So that's my only cause for concern. Yes, I think it's good experience, but there's a risk. There's a risk with it. Right, I think that wraps it up.
Yes.
The league's looking pretty, isn't it? Top 7 really competing. Wigan on 26, Saints, Warrington, Hull KR, Salford all on 22. Catalans on 20 and Leeds on 18 make up the top 7.
That's why it was such a big win for Catalan and Leeds this week.
Yeah. They could have been really set adrift and just been a 6th place battle, really. Yeah. But they stayed in touch, and some of them are going to drop points this week. And this next month's really interesting.
Good for the league this next, but July will be an interesting month.
There's a lot of top teams playing each other. Then it's magic, and anything can happen at magic.
Well, they do that in the summer holidays, though, don't they? The big teams always play each other in the summer holidays, could get bigger crowds on.
I really like it. Really do. Right, that wraps it up. We'll come back NRL and a bit of predictions. Okay, so we're back to talk a little bit about the NRL. Quite a few games on this week. Starts off, I think it was Thursday night. South Sydney Rabbitohs played Parramatta, 32 points to 10. Bunnies have found a little bit of form.
Yeah, they have.
The Bunnies are back.
Really put some a couple of results together now. I think is it 4?
It's 3 or 4 or 5, is it? 5 in a row, wow.
Parramatta twice, the Gold Coast, Brisbane and the Eagles. Really big. Parramatta continuing to struggle, but they've got a new coach now, Jason Riles.
Yep. Well, he's starting next year, isn't he, Jason Riles? A rookie head coach. And weirdly, it's a 12-month contract, I think. prove himself, I suppose. He's got to prove himself by April.
So Barrett go back down to assistant.
I don't know, actually. I think Barrett might be off.
He was a head coach for Canterbury at the time, wasn't he? Trent Barrett's
Seagulls.
experience.
Seagulls and Canterbury, yeah.
So he has
His
got a
record's
coach.
not great though.
Yeah.
Yeah, people don't want to... I mean, if he's failed twice, people aren't going to trust him, are they?
No. Gold Coast beat Cronulla Sharks. 20
Yeah.
points to 16. They've had a turnaround. Desi's starting to get a little bit of momentum.
Well, they were
Win-loss,
bottom.
win-loss.
They were dead and buried, weren't they, when they were bottom? But
Now into 16th. 4 points clear of Parramatta and West. Nico Hines off injured.
Bit hit and miss Cronulla this season. You kind of want to watch which one's going to turn up. They've had some good wins, but then some.
was it 20 points to
losses.
16? I think it was 20-0.
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
Yeah, it was 20-0.
Come
And they came back, but they
Oh,
didn't...
no, sorry, no, 20 points to 4.
Oh, 20 points to 4, mate. So it was still a good comeback, but they didn't have enough in the tank.
Left
Left
it
it
too
too
late.
Penrith beating Brisbane 14 points to 6.
There was a great try to Reece Walsh in this game. You see,
Yeah.
unbelievable pace and balance while he was running. He's such a good runner.
I can't believe how much they struggle without Adam Reynolds.
Schneider was good in this game, the villain.
Yeah.
The villainous Brad Schneider. I always call him because he knocked us out of the cup last year. But he was good in this game. He came in for Penrith, played 6.
It's just not. I don't know what the word is. It's
Penrith.
very difficult.
Penrith lost the best player and a second.
Yeah.
Brisbane lost the best player and they're like 9th.
Yeah, it
There's a big difference.
Yeah.
really is.
Penrith are a better squad overall, aren't they? They're better players to come in and they're got a better system, you suppose
Better
you'd
system
say.
to come into. It's so much so like they got Jack Cole and Schneider in the backup halves, but one replaces Leigh and one would replace Cleary because they play so differently and they know that role to perfection.
But I suppose I've liked a lot of what Luai's done as a 7. That's what he's going to be doing at West Tigers.
Definitely.
Ezra Mam has tried to do the same thing for Brisbane and it's not quite worked as well. So, yeah, I think they're unfortunate Brisbane, but they do rely a lot on Reynolds. A bit too much, maybe.
Yeah. He's a brilliant player.
He is a brilliant player.
There's no
He is a
issue
brilliant
relying on your
but
great
so's
players.
Cleary. You know what I mean? Cleary's a brilliant player.
Right. That's Saturday. Canterbury Bulldogs beat the Wars in Golden Point. The 9th minute of 10 minutes, Golden Point. Matt Burton hits the drop goal. Bulldogs? I
think that's the Wars done.
I think it's the Wars.
So I'll put a line through the Wars. I think they're so close to winning this one.
And they can't get over the line. I know they're only 3 points behind the top 8.
I know, but they've had
But they have to capitalise during what's it called?
Origin.
During Origin.
That's
They
what
don't have anyone. And they're just not.
Yeah,
Not
Kurt
at all.
Capewell.
He didn't play first game, did he?
The way he
Played
played 2 and
second,
3.
did he?
He's in the third squad. And Mitch Barnett's in the third squad. So they're losing 2 this time.
Right, West Tigers versus the Melbourne Storm. Melbourne won 40 points to 28.
Some good tries in this game.
Some really good
High
tries.
scoring.
Bateman was back. I don't know if he was back last week. Was he back last week? Bateman.
I think he played.
Might have been back last week. He was back this game properly.
I just...
There was a good try for Charlie Staines. And
I
that,
just can't get the West Tigers.
but they're not very good, Tom.
That-
That's just
But they don't keep getting battered. They got 28 points against
league leaders.
the league leaders. They then battered Canberra. They beat Gold Coast by 8, but then get battered by St George.
They're a weird
They're
side.
within 12.
You can't get
North
consistent,
Queensland.
can they?
No, they're not. They're not consistent.
It doesn't matter. To me, I just get the feeling of it doesn't matter who they play. They're just 12 points not as good. Whether they're playing the best team or the second worst team.
They're 12 points worse than them.
Yeah,
That's a good way of putting it, actually.
it doesn't matter. They step up the game, but it's not enough.
There's some squads that are like that in Super League.
Yeah. Another game that went to Golden Point. Manly won this one, 21 points to 20. Who else would hit the drop goal other than DCE
Yeah.
to win that?
Against the Cowboys.
Yeah, they were 18-6 up.
Cowboys had about 54 shots at the drop goal as well. Missed them all. And then one chance for DCE and he just nailed it. Oh, I think he might... Did he have one blocked?
I think he had one
I
block.
think he might have had one blocked and the second one he nailed. But yeah, Cowboys with so many chances.
Yeah.
So many. But they were losing by 2 and they hit a 2-point drop goal. Drinkwater hit a 2-point drop goal. But all the shots after that were not Drinkwater. Somebody else took all the shots after that.
It was weird, that.
So when you got a guy who just struck a 2-point drop goal, which is one of the hardest things to do in rugby, and he struck it from 45 or 46 metres.
Did Val play?
Val was taking all the shots. He kept missing. And then Townsend was taking them all.
Yeah.
And he missed a few shots. But the Cowboys had so many chances to nail this drop goal and failed. And DCE,
All the experience in the world.
Yeah.
Cherry Evans.
the ring general.
He won't miss.
Right. The Roosters played St George, 42 points to 12. The Roosters. I want to mention something to start off with. We talked about who was going to play centre for them at the start of the year, Manu and Suoli, and they've ended up with Michael Jennings and Tupanua. Jennings wasn't even a part of the club at the start of the season.
No.
Tupanua is a second rower. And they still managed to put points on for fun. It's such a strange setup.
Good to
with
see the Roosters back this year. I know we said this on an earlier
Strong
podcast,
Roosters is a strong comp.
it is good to see the Roosters back. I know we had a bit of a glitch last season, but it's good to see them
They've
back
been
and
really good.
competing. Yeah,
They have been really good. And it was Big Jared, his record breaking appearance. He's now got the most appearances for Sydney Roosters, or Eastern Suburbs Roosters, as they were called. And that club is well over 100 years old.
yeah.
So for him to be the record appearance maker, and he's a prop forward, tells you something. Obviously, he's moving on at the end of the year. He's going to OKR. He's got a nice golden rooster on his shirt now for the rest of the year. He had a golden number 8, I think it was.
I
It
like
was
that.
very flash.
I like little touches like that.
He stayed true to form and got sin binned, and now he got suspended. But that's just Jared being Jared.
What's it they call him? The big dog.
Yeah, he got sin binned early doors. Yeah, but that's just Jared, isn't it?
Yeah. Right. Canberra versus the Knights. The Knights winning 16 points to 12.
Sorry, I forgot to mention
Go on.
my favourite forward scored, Lindsay Collins,
Yeah.
and he's changed his hair. That's what he's got long hair now.
Oh.
Not seen him for a while. He's got long hair.
I'm going to jump over to the Knights.
Good game. This I watched this one. It was a good one.
Caelan back at full back.
It was.
And Will Price kept his spot at 6.
He did. Didn't have the best game deferred to him, Will Price, after he had a very good debut. I thought.
I don't think anyone's expected him to be perfect.
No, I think you just got to learn from it and go again next week. And
Another 80 minutes from
He
Carpier's
took over the goal kicking. Price took over the goal kicking, didn't he? In the
Yes.
second half.
Yeah, he did. He definitely kicked the
The last one.
Hastings kicked the first one and then he missed. And then Will Price took over in the second half. Yeah, that's a strange one. But Caelan back in the Origin squad. On 17. That'll be interesting to see how they use him. Canberra, does that write off their season? At the 2 points off the top 8.
I mean, they needed to win this one. They had the chance.
But there's a lot of teams around that.
The last second, they made the break, and Xavier Savage got onto the kick, but he just fumbled it.
yeah,
He couldn't get it down, could he? And that would have been, kick to be winning the game, really. In the 78th minute.
it was back and forth this game all the time. It was really good. A lot of errors, especially from the Knights coming out. They kept on inviting Canberra back in.
Yeah.
That was what made it exciting, because it was like, can they hold on? Are they gonna fluff it?
Josh Papali'i scored. I know he's played a lot of games, but 63 tries in his career for a prop forward. That's pretty. He's a threat, isn't he? He's a genuine prop forward, try scoring threat.
I think he'll never be forgot for chasing Jamal Fogarty down.
Yeah, his future teammate.
Yeah. Right, that's the NRL. Just to recap that, Melbourne, 4 points clear at the top.
Yep.
Then there's a bit of fight around the Penrith on 26 points, the Roosters and Cronulla on 24.
It's not dissimilar to
No,
Super
no.
League, is it?
Canterbury, the Dolphins on 22, Manly on 21, and then there's 3 teams that make up the top 10. North Queensland, Newcastle and St George all on 20. Brisbane not even in the top 10.
No.
They're on 18 points with Canberra on 18 and the Bunnies on 18. Realistically, you can't really write off the Bunnies on 18 points.
No, don't know they're coming strong
Couple of
like
wins.
5 wins in a row.
The Warriors on 17. Effectively, anyone down to 14 They get on a winning streak, could make the 8.
We said that last year, didn't we?
It's a really strong position for the league.
NRL's in a good place. They're adding a 20th team. Been announced. Yeah. Sorry, not 20th.
They're adding an 18th.
An 18th team. 20 is the hope.
They've announced plans to have it by 2030, haven't they?
What, 20 teams?
20 teams by
Well,
2030.
the 18th team is 2027.
I think they want to bring in 2
Oh, do they?
at the same time.
Well, it's going to be Perth, and they're going to be linked with North Sydney Bears. So North Sydney Bears are they're playing Dennis the Menace red and black kits, and they're an old team from Northern Sydney, and they play at Central Coast Stadium, which is the one by the beach. And the idea is they have lots of fans, they have lots of supporters around the world. The idea is if you bring them into the league with their image and their branding, the Dennis the Menace branding, and the Bears as a team, and all their fans will want to watch it, and they'll play a couple of games at that beach stadium, but mainly they'll be in Perth as Perth Bears. They might
I think it'll just be the Bears.
They might just be called Bears, yeah. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes, whether the Perth fans get on board. I'm sure they will. There's an appetite for rugby league over there, and whether the Northern Sydney fans like it. I heard Adelaide Rams want to be back in as one of the other teams. They're doing a campaign called Make the NRL National again.
Ooh.
Yeah, the Adelaide Rams want to be back in. I think a second New Zealand team is probably going to come as well.
Yeah.
Maybe a Christchurch or a Wellington or a Dunedin, something like that.
Yeah. Right. We'll take a break there, we'll come back, do predictions.
Yeah.
So, coming around for some quickish fire predictions. I don't think it'll be very quick because we know what we're like. We're like a bit of a chat on the way.
Coming into land.
Yeah. But we'll start off on Thursday night game, I forgot. Warrington Leeds. Matty, who are you going for and why?
I can see only a Warrington victory for this one at the Halliwell Jones. I think Warrington are going to have too much quality for Leeds. I don't like what I've seen from the last week of Leeds. Warrington are obviously on fire.
Lewis?
Yeah, first thing, I'm right, it's happening on a Thursday. I love a Thursday night game. We need to keep the Thursday night games going. I'm agreeing with Matty. Wire, too good for Leeds.
I can't back against Wire. I don't see it with Leeds. I really don't. And I think this will be the time of the season they break off from the top 6 and sort of fall. Right, I'm going to leave Wigan for now. Obviously, I always leave that to the end. But also on Friday, London versus Castleford. I'm glad I'm not driving to London on a Friday night. Maybe not the best planning, but here we go in. Matty.
Well, I think as long as they get there for 8 o'clock.
That's definitely got a delayed start all over it.
I think Castleford are going to win. I think Castleford are going to win this one.
Lewis?
Cass, but I'm going to go close. I do think London will put up a fight again. I think we could see another close game here.
Okay, I like that. I'm going to go Cass, and I think Cass will be quite dominant in this. I'm going to go the opposite to you.
I like the close game, Lewis. I like Cass again. I like Cass close as well.
I think last week will have been demoralising for London.
It will. Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to be able to get back up for it.
Cass are going to have to back up again though.
Yeah.
Having won.
Right, Leigh, Huddersfield. I'm going to throw it to you, Lewis.
Leigh.
He's given up.
Has Ian Watson beat you into submission?
He's given up.
No,
I swear to God, if Huddersfield win now.
I'm doing Ian Watson's ears and I'm retreating behind shelter. And I'm going to stop back in Huddersfield and go for Leigh.
I'm going Leigh, Matty.
Yeah, I think you've got to back Leigh in this game. I know it's annoying because we keep saying the same ones, but you've got to go Leigh in this game, haven't you?
Right, the whole derby. FC, can they overturn the big brother? Can they rectify?
Oh, Hull care of the big brother.
At the moment, there's only one team that's like any chance of winning anything.
Yeah, but you and your brother don't change who's the big brother depending on who's on top of the life at the minute.
Yeah, but he is bigger than me now, so I have to deal with that. Right. Hull FC, Hull KR. Matty, who are you going?
Oh, the noisy neighbours. Hull care.
The Man City of Rugby League.
Yep.
Lewis?
Yeah, sorry, I'm going to be boring. Okay, there again. We're kind of going off at the same ones here, but I think listeners will be going for the same ones as well. That's what we're picking.
Yeah. I think so.
I think this is KR. I think it's KR big.
Yeah.
I think Ben Reynolds going massive.
Think about Hull FC. Hull FC and Cass and London. The bottom three didn't get walked over, didn't get dog walked this week, did they?
No.
Bottom club, London, took Leeds to Golden Point. Hull FC took high-flying Salford to the wire and scored more tries than them, and Cass beat Saints away. So normally we come on here and talk about the bottom three getting dog walked, or at least the bottom two. It's refreshing that the bottom
That's
three...
from Wire and Huddersfield, really.
They were all close games, yeah. It was all decent games, apart from Wire and Huddersfield. And that was just good in its own right, because Wire were just firing.
Yeah. Last one that doesn't involve Wigan. Catalans, Salford. Matty, who are you going?
This is the trickiest one. This is the trickiest tie. And this is where I think we might have a bit of disagreement. I think Salford. Away from home, I know, but I think Salford. I think the listeners are going to back Catalan, and I know Lewis is because he always backs Catalan and Catalan unless they're playing us. But I think Salford could sneak
Matt's completely correct. I'm going to back Catalan.
Stole your thunder then, didn't
It's
it?
in the south of Ireland. No, he's right in what he's saying. What it is, it's always me kind. I say safe. Well, it's not always safe because I'm actually behind. I don't lead a board, but it's not the one I always go to. My consistent choice, Catalans when they're at home. So yeah, I'm going to go Catalans to win. Close game again, though. I think this one. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be competitive. This one.
Catalans at home, who've lost 2 of the last 3 at home.
Listen, I didn't say it was the right decision. I just said I'm consistent in picking it. I backed Huddersfield, remember, for a very long time. Dukesy never changed me.
it. But you did
It's
win.
only a full season.
You won last year, I think, even though you kept backing Huddersfield. You won.
It took me a full season to not back.
This year, you've stopped backing Huddersfield and you're in last. I think I can see a pattern.
Are you saying to back Huddersfield Giants who've just gone a 48-0 loss?
I'm going to follow you, Matty. I'm going to Salford.
Yeah, I think this could be a good game, this.
I think they really need to bounce back. After that. I know they didn't lose, but it would have been they'd have been disappointed. I think training would have been intense, to say the least.
Paul Rowley kind of said it wasn't easy to watch, but he's glad they got the 2 points.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a fair assumption for a fair recap of the game from Rowley there.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's fair. But I think Salford really need a win. And a one just to really kick on now.
If Salford get this win, you have got to take them seriously as top 2 contenders.
I just think with Salford, they'll know last season they were there and thereabouts and they died off at the back end of the season. I think they need a statement here to say we're sticking at it. We'll be at it all the way to the end.
They've not got the 2 best players. I don't know if they're going to play against Catalan. I don't think they are. McDonald and Laffey. Well, I suppose you could say Sneed's the best player, but you know what I mean.
They've
There's a strike.
They've really back now as well. They've got options. Because brilliant fullback Ryan, was it Cross and Hankinson in the centres?
Yeah, Hankinson scored a nice try in this one.
He'd kicked that goal that Sneed missed.
Hankinson's a good goal kicker. Not as good as Sneed, but he is a good goal kicker.
Oh. Right, Wigan Saints. Are either of you two daring?
No.
Thank you. Thank you. I was going to start fighting with one of you then. Thank you very much. What do you think is going to be the difference then? How do you see this game going? Not a score prediction, but...
I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be really close. I really hope we keep our discipline. I know I said this about the final, but I really hope we keep our discipline and I really hope we don't throw any interceptions because I don't want to give them anything. If we don't give them anything, I think we'll win close. I can see us being conservative. And I don't mind that. 5 and 5 kicks.
Yeah.
I'm worried about Brad O'Neill not playing. Lehman's injured. Forber's injured. I don't know what we'll do.
Are you worried though, or do you just trust Matty Peake to make the right choice here?
I'm worried because I don't know what choice he can make. I always back him to make the right choice, and I'm sure he will. But I just think he's kind of backed into a corner here with his 3 players
These 3 nines.
The 3 nines are out in the same position. I know what another club would do. Other clubs would go and get someone on a 2-week loan. I'm serious.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Some clubs will go and get a 2-week loan.
There is someone. Sharks.
Joe Shorrocks.
Yeah.
Because he's playing. I don't think Softwood gave. He's playing every week. I thought you were going to say Tommy Lululai.
He could come back in.
Get him in Sports Direct, buy some boots. Tommy Lululai.
Yeah.
As a 9.
Well, I'm going Wigan. And I think I can see us getting 2 late tries to take it to maybe a 12 points to win. I think it'll be close and then maybe 2 in the last 10. I think we'll go bang bang later. Lewis?
Yeah, I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be physical. I think it's going to be a very good game. I don't know, do we know if... I know obviously Saints are missing a couple. Are they still missing a good couple? Is anyone
There's
coming back?
3
from,
back.
do we know?
3 back. Clark definitely is back.
Right.
Or maybe Hurrell. I heard 3, but one of them was definitely
So
Clark.
I have a couple back for it, but no, I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a tough game. I think both teams are carrying injuries to significant players in significant positions. So
Yeah.
I think it's all to play for, but it's going to be a tasty game because Saints are going to want to bounce back, and we're going to want to make sure we put a gap between us and Saints to give us some lee room. It's a derby as well, which obviously no one wants to lose. You don't want to lose any game, but especially not the derby. I think we own one from last time on Good Friday as well, which I'll add to it. So I think it's going to be a real good one. I'm looking forward to it.
It's weird. I said the 2 games against Leigh and the 2 games against Saints, I thought we needed 3 wins.
The remaining...
Before last week,
we
had 2 games against Leigh, 2 games against Saints, and I thought we needed to win 3 of them.
Win the 3 home games, lose the Magic, for example.
I'd have been okay with that.
Me too.
I saw potentially last week as a banana skin.
Last week was a big banana.
And you know what? I see the Tuesday night as a banana
One of
skin.
them 3 games that are in a week.
I think the lads will know that if they can be 2 from 2 out of them 4, and only need to win 1 of the 2, that buffer's just...
Well, if they win this week, we've got a nice buffer.
Yeah.
We've got a nice buffer. But I mean, how funny would it be if Saints did a double over us and we still won every single trophy?
That'd be good. That'd be... Well, no, I'd rather do the double.
But we can't do the double over them because we lost away.
We've still got 2 games.
Yeah, but
I'd take winning 2 out of 3 and winning everything.
so well, yes, I would take winning 0 out of 3 and winning everything.
I just don't want... I can't see... I hate losing to them.
Also, here's an interesting stat for you. Thanks to Leeds winning this week, Wigan can no longer finish bottom.
Let's worry about that.
It's mathematically impossible for us to finish bottom. Just in case anyone was worrying, you can put a line through Wigan, they're not going to get the one spoon.
Oh, thank God for that.
All the other clubs, though.
Who Wellens does need to get sacked before Saints finish. Get wooden spoon.
If Wellens gets the wooden spoon, no,
I can see a sacking.
I could see me having a party.
they'll demolish the stadium.
With him in it.
Yeah.
Daryl Powell would never have come downstairs. Right, I think that wraps it up this week. It's been a great episode.
Yeah.
It's Derby week. Look forward to it.
Yes.
They only come 3 times a season unless you're playing the playoffs of the Cup.
Yeah.
Could end up being 6. Who knows? See you next week. Thank you for having us.
See you later.